Back to Touch Designer. Sound analysis is the focus of the next few demos. So before we get into the actual techniques, focusing on like analyze chop, audio filter chop, spectrum chop, trim chop, I want to show a little bit of UI using buttons to trigger the play and the cue parameters of the audio file in to make life a little easier, especially when we're doing like a performative thing. It's nice to have kind of upfront control for playing and stopping and cueing your sound file. So simply we can do something like this. I already have something loaded up, device out, coming to the speaker. It's playing, and then that stops it. Picks up where it leaves off. And if I hit this, it'll cue back to the beginning. Well, let's learn how this works. Let's just erase that first, and then we'll do it all over again. And let's keep that a secret for now. Okay, let's hide that. All right. So we need a couple buttons. Get a couple right here. So this one I want to be the play button. And I'll give a more thorough intro to UI stuff, buttons and sliders and all that later. But we'll just keep this as a toggle button. And if I click this, I can now toggle it on, toggle it off. Great. I want to change the text in there. So actually I zoom in, and like with other components, we actually see it's composed of several other operators inside of it. This is actually a text top. So for that, I'm going to say play. And that actually looks so tiny. Let's bring that up a little bit. Okay. And then also I'll just Command C, Command V, copy paste. And for the cue, I don't want it to be a toggle. I just want to be a momentary button. Because all that matters is the moment that it is pressed. So go back in here. Cue. Okay, super. So I could leave it like this. I like to kind of keep UI elements organized in a container. It's always better to move things around. Looking forward to where, like right here, you can see it's all kind of it shows up in the that parent container. Let's just go ahead and learn about this. So I'm going to get a container also. And what I want to do is, so this is all messed up because over here I've got children, line, justify, fit was turned on. That's why it was all messed up. Don't worry about that right now. So layout. So each of these buttons is 50 by 50. So I'm going to make this container here 50 by 100. And I'll just cut those, paste them in right there. Actually, you know what? I should not have done that. Maybe back to the size they were before was better. Because the sizing was being weird because the other container had the fit thing set on it. So back to 12 is better. Okay, very good. So this is going to be my kind of UI container. I'm going to call it buttons. So I want them to both show up here. By default, they're kind of anchored. Like the cue is kind of in front of the play button. So what I can do is go in here, children, align top to bottom. Voila. Okay. And viewer active. So now I'm going to be able to click that right there. And I've got, like, inside the container, I've got a little bit more of a unified kind of UI type of situation. So how do I get this to control this? Well, I guess let's look really quick also at what a panel is. Let's get a panel chop. So panels it's a special type of operator. Here in components, we can see panels here, button, container, field, slider, some other type of things. So essentially what it means is, this panel chop, let me tell it to look at this button. And we see that. And let's view. Let me stretch this so we can see it all. So here we should be able to see a lot of the information that a panel category of operator can give you. So not only if I press the button, we see its state for a toggle button. The state is what matters. So now it's turned on. Now the state is 0 or off. As I press it down, select is 1. So that means the mouse is down. Mouse is up. So now select is 0. And it also gives you these kind of nice kind of rollover values. So U being the horizontal value, V the vertical. This U and V, true U, true V, this tells us where we actually clicked. So if I click right there, it tells me that. So because of all this information that enables you to use buttons like really complex UI, kind of hot zones type of interactivity, we don't care about that right now. All I care about is this state channel to show if it's on or off. And for Q, for this button, it is only a momentary button. So the state turns on just when the mouse is down. So it only kind of outputs that one when you're selecting it. So also select up here is the same. Like when the mouse is down, that turns to 1. When you release, it's 0. Also, we kind of see there's like left, middle, and right mouse buttons. So that's also for future things. If I right click, we see only the R select thing goes to 1. Also down here, R state. And middle click, M select goes to 1. By default, so left select triggers this main kind of select channel. So knowing that, we could use this panel chop. We could kind of select just that channel we need, send it over, and do like a regular type of chop reference, right? Because we could do something like this. I could select, so only the select thing here. So I'm getting that. I could do something like, let's do like an out, let's say. And then when I do that, ooh, that's going to show up right there. Okay, cool. So there it is. I could then reference this over here. And I want to pulse the Q, chop reference. So I can see that right there now. So now this is going to pull it. So Q means Q point is 0. So that's what's actually resetting the audio file back to 0. You could set this to whatever. Like if there's a specific point in the file, by seconds, by fraction, you can identify that. So whenever you hit Q, it's going to snap it to that point. Okay, so that was a kind of normal way doing a kind of chop reference that we've done before, and that works just fine. Since we have this container thing happening, I just had to use this out chop to create this little output and then a null, so it kind of shows up right here. Like one of many ways that we could do this. To throw in a little Python to liven this up a little bit, let's go to play. So instead of doing, I could do the same thing and it would work fine, whatever. I want to look at the state panel channel for this play button. And so here, I'm just going to go straight ahead. Actually, you know what? Let's not play it. I'm going to turn that off. And I'll just type in operator known as buttons / button1 because it's in the container called buttons. Inside that is the thing called button1. It's button1, right? Yeah, right there. Okay. And so we've seen previously we can do things like, okay, I grab a parameter of that thing, .par gives us a parameter. Other operators, if it was just like a chop, right, we'd do like channel name like that with brackets and then the channel name. To find the panel value of this operator, we type .panel and then whatever that name is, which is state in this case. So by doing this, we're actually grabbing that state channel from within. So this is not an actual channel. I got rid of that panel chop there. Right, so panel chop's job is kind of like grabbing that panel information from the button or slider or whatever, and then kind of translating it into a chop channel, which we then can do like a normal chop reference from. So what I'm doing here is with this Python script, it's kind of like looking directly at that button and grabbing its panel information and grabbing the state within that. Cool. Okay. So that works. And let's see if YouTube flags this copyrighted. Wait, Dirty Horses. It's not Dirty Horses. The artist is Dirty Beaches. The song is called Horses. It's a great Taiwanese musician. So if YouTube flags that, then I'll just have to scrap it and make a new video. So great.